there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
It's too stressful, and frankly, I do not have the nerve.
Our rights are on the line, folks.
The right to buy Cosby sweater?
It was supposed to be a fairy tale comeback for Disney, a reimagined classic, a fresh face taking on an iconic role. But what we got instead? A total train wreck. Rachel Zegler's Snow White remake has become the face of Hollywood's most embarrassing failure in recent memory. From bizarre interviews and tone-deaf comments, to viral backlash and an alleged brutal confrontation with Jack Black, this wasn't just a flop. It was a public implosion.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends.
So what really happened behind the scenes? How did Rachel Zegler go from Disney's golden girl to one of the most hated faces in entertainment? Let's break down the controversy that buried Snow White, the backlash that wouldn't stop, and how Jack Black might have been the one to finally say what everyone else was thinking. When Disney announced Rachel Zegler as their new Snow White, the reaction was mixed, to say the least. Yes, she was fresh off a successful debut in West Side Story, handpicked by Spielberg himself. She had talent, a powerful voice, the kind of breakout role that puts a young actress on the map. But this wasn't just any role. This was Snow White, the character that launched the entire Disney empire, a cultural icon that spanned generations. People were curious, but also skeptical. Could Zegler really carry this? Could she balance the innocence, charm, and timeless magic of a character beloved by millions? Spoiler alert, she didn't even try. Instead of embracing the legacy, Zegler immediately set the tone for what would become one of the most disconnected and condescending PR campaigns in Disney history.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Chicken joe.
Let's talk about those interviews. Rachel Zegler didn't just promote the movie. She went on what felt like a personal crusade against the original story. In a now infamous red carpet interview, she laughed as she called the 1937 Snow White weird, outdated, and even referred to the prince as a stalker. The interviewer awkwardly chuckled, clearly trying to keep it light. But Zegler doubled down. "We're not doing that anymore," she said. She doesn't need saving by a man. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. And just like that, the very heart of the fairy tale was tossed aside. Fans were shocked. Not just conservatives or traditionalists. Even progressives who loved the idea of a modern update were asking, wait, isn't this just bitterness disguised as empowerment? Instead of showing love for the legacy, Zegler acted like she was above it. Like playing a princess was some kind of punishment she was reluctantly enduring. And the internet noticed fast.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years.
The backlash spiraled. YouTubers made reaction videos. TikTok was flooded with memes. Entire Reddit threads were roasting her PR tour. But instead of pivoting, Zegler dug in. She started labeling critics as trolls, misogynists, haters. She played the victim card, while continuing to take jabs at the original movie and the people who loved it. At one point, she even said, "If you don't like it, don't come see it. We're not making it for you." And guess what? People listened.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
As promo for the film picked up, Zegler started posting photos of herself at theaters. But not just any photos. Photos of her sitting completely alone. Whole rows of empty seats. No fans. No buzz. She captioned them with emojis and artsy filters, clearly trying to make it cute or aesthetic. But the internet saw something different. They saw the metaphor for the entire project. A lonely tone-deaf performance playing to an empty audience. It wasn't just bad optics. It was depressing. How does the lead actress in a Disney film, one of the biggest IPs in history, end up alone at a showing? That's not empowerment. That's isolation.
The future of Hollywood is being battled out right now in theaters as 2 live-action remakes from the biggest studios in Hollywood go head-to-head.
While Snow White was spiraling, another unexpected movie was quietly building massive hype. Minecraft, the movie. At first, people laughed at it. Minecraft, as a movie? Really? But then the cast list dropped, and suddenly, nobody was laughing. Jason Momoa, Danielle Brooks, Jennifer Coolidge, and of course Jack Black. And Jack, he didn't just show up, he stole the show. Funny, warm, humble, and grateful to be there. In every interview, he respected the game's legacy while bringing his own flair to it. He promoted the movie without mocking it, without shaming fans, without trying to rewrite the soul of the franchise. And that's when the alleged confrontation happened. According to industry whispers, during a press stop or shared set moment, Jack Black approached Zegler, politely but firmly, and he asked her the question fans have been asking for months. Do you think calling your fans trolls is helping? That's it. One simple, devastating question. And Zegler reportedly lost it. Some sources say she walked away crying. Others say she snapped at him. A few claim she didn't speak for the rest of the day. But one thing is clear, that moment shook her. Because someone finally held up a mirror, and she didn't like what she saw.
Remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical
creatures. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage, there's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
After that, Disney's PR machine went into full-blown crisis mode. They pulled back on trailers, re-edit promotional footage. Some scenes were allegedly res hot, and insiders claim entire subplots were quietly deleted. Why? Because test audiences hated it. One screening participant described it as painfully preachy and completely hollow. And worst of all, kids were bored. This wasn't a magical experience. It was a lecture. Disney executives reportedly freaked out. Bob Iger himself was said to be furious. Investors started asking why a billion-dollar franchise was crashing and burning before it even launched. The once proud Snow White was now toxic.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight.
Zegler, who once posted daily, suddenly went dark. No tweets, no stories, no promotional selfies. Her fanbase, what was left of it, grew quiet. Even her defenders started backing off. The mood shifted from support to embarrassment. Because now it wasn't just about a failed movie. It was about a young star who had burned every bridge and found herself alone. The Snow White remake dropped. And the result? One of the worst performing Disney reboots in recent history. Audiences hated it. Critics panned it. Box office numbers were humiliating. And online? It became a meme, a symbol of everything fans hated about modern Hollywood. The arrogance, the pandering, the rewriting of classics with no love for the source material. And while Rachel Zegler sat in empty theaters, Jack Black was going viral for dancing in a creeper costume at the Minecraft premiere. That's the difference. Jack Black respected the audience. Rachel Zegler mocked them. And the audience chose who they wanted to support.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Racheal Zegler.
Rachel Zegler didn't just tank a movie, she became the warning sign. A living example of what happens when Hollywood forgets who it's making movies for. When studios choose agendas over storytelling. When actors see fans as enemies. When billion-dollar IPs are hijacked by people who don't even like the original material. And the worst part, it didn't have to be this way. Zegler had the talent, the voice, the platform, but instead of becoming a symbol of modern Disney magic, she became the face of its collapse. Rachel Zegler thought she was rewriting a fairy tale. Instead, she wrote her own downfall. And Jack Black, he didn't yell, he didn't cancel, he didn't shame. He just asked the one question that exposed the entire mess. Do you think this is helping? And now, Disney's left with a lifeless Snow White, a burnt-out lead, and a fanbase that's not coming back. Because the truth is simple. When you insult the audience walks away. If you've had enough of Hollywood disrespecting its own legacy, if you're tired of stars who think fans are beneath them, then hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let your voice be heard in the comments. What do you think about Rachel Zegler's Snow White? Was the backlash deserved? Did Disney destroy its own fairy tale? And did Jack Black say what no one else had the guts to? I'm reading every comment, so drop your take below. Because this isn't just about a movie anymore. This is about the future of Hollywood, and we get to decide how the story ends.